How's it going, fish folk? Austin here with another Fintastic Freaks video. Those of you that have followed my channel for a while should know by now, I like puffer fish. As I have multiple kinds of puffer fish, including Finley, my Fahaka puffer.
Hello!
Then of course we have this 20-gallon hex where we have pea puffers. There's 3 total, but only 2 of them are social. Speaking of unsocial fish, we have our dragon puffer, who, thanks to this person right here, we have a name for. Meet Mushu, the dragon puffer.
Dishonor on you! Dishonor on your cow!
And then of course, those of you that watched my last video before this one will know recently I had a hairy puffer, but unfortunately it recently passed away suddenly. But now our puffer species count is back up to 4, thanks to 5 new little puffers. Yes, these are fun little guys. Inside this 38-gallon tank, we currently have 4 Amazon puffers. They're also frequently known as South American puffers. So those wondering, yes, these guys are indeed another true freshwater puffer, as given the name Amazon puffer, they are usually mostly found in the Amazon River. And something that I really like about them that you can see clearly right here is that you can put a little group of them together and be just fine, unlike others like, say, a Fahaka or a dragon or a hairy. These guys actually prefer even to be in groups. Usually you like to keep them at the bare minimum 3, although honestly if you could do more like 4 or 5, that'd be more ideal. And also, unlike some of the other freshwater puffers, these guys don't get very big. They max out at about 4 to 6 inches, so bigger than a pea puffer, but certainly nothing like a Mabu or a Fahaka. Thus, much more easier to keep. You can keep these guys like what I have in this 38, or more ideally, and if you want a bigger group, 55 would also be perfect for these little guys. And in terms of tank setup, they will appreciate some plant and such, as it just gives something to put their attention to. The only thing that I would say that is highly recommended is a sand substrate, as I always say with puffers. Some puffers do like to bury themselves in the sand. These guys are not very notorious for doing that. However, as we all know, other puffers do it, and they do sometimes like to do it themselves. I personally just use play sand. Plant-wise, just have some water sprite and some wisteria in here, as well as some Taiwan moss here on my spider wood. In terms of water parameters for these little guys, they're not very picky. They can deal with some softer water, they can deal with some harder water. They are a tropical temperature fish, so anywhere between really 72, 78 degrees. They can sometimes tolerate even higher temperatures like 80, 82 sometimes. I myself, though, keep their temperature more around 76 to 78 degrees, as that gives the best results for the fish. And if you also want to do live plants like what I've done here, best results for them as well. In terms of diet for these little guys, like all other puffers, they do have those continuously growing teeth, so hard shell things like snails, once they get a little bit bigger, small crabs and shrimp will be nice to help file down their teeth. Otherwise, things such as brine shrimp, bloodworms, frozen krill, frozen meaty foods as well will also be very oftenly accepted. As I said earlier, these guys, unlike some other puffers, don't like to really live by themselves. They prefer to have some of their other species with them, or you could also put some other fish outside of their species with them as well. The key component though is make sure you get a fish that's faster swimming than the puffers in case they get feisty. Remember, pufferfish in the wild are also predators, so make sure that it be no fish that they could catch at all, because if they do catch them, it's not going to fare well for those other fish. With that said, personally, if you ask me, these puffers, you should just get as many of a group as you can fit into a tank responsibly and call it good at that. Now, while you only see 4 puffers in here, I actually have 5. The 5th one, however, is down here where the hairy puffer used to be in the 10-gallon. Quick but obvious question. Why is he down there and not in there with the rest? So before I actually had 5, I actually just had 3. I got 3 on a first batch of an order from my local fish store, and this was one of the original 3. This little guy fell behind the others partially because he ended up having a surprise fungal infection. The good news is, though, as you can see now, his color's looking much better and no more infection on him as he's looking a lot better. His fins still need a little bit of work, but also because of that infection, he also wasn't eating as well, thus he got really, really skinny, and we're trying to catch him up to the rest of the group before we have him join the rest of the crew. For those of you potentially wondering what I did to treat his fungal infection, 1, lots of water changes. Get that stuff out of there. It's usually by dead organic matter, so get that out of there. 2, we also used this stuff, Polyguard from CHM. It's something that it tells you the doses right on the bottle. You just put it in there. Only with puffers, I recommend you only do it a half dose. Since they are a scaleless fish, they are more prone to things in the water. Once you put that medicine in the tank, though, it's there and there for good. But nonetheless, the little guy has made tremendous progress, is already looking tons better, not looking as thin and skinny anymore, and hopefully in a couple or a few weeks, he'll be able to join the rest of the crew back up in the 38-gallon tank. We got 5 little puffers now added to the fish room, and as you all know me and how much I love puffers, they won't be the last. Fish folk, if you like the new puffers and you like these little care tips, give this video a thumbs up. And of course, don't forget to tell me what you think about the new puffers in the comments below. And if you got puffers of your own that maybe I haven't covered yet on my channel, feel free to tell me what those also are in the comments below. And if you're new to my channel and haven't done so already, consider clicking the subscribe button to stay in the loop with everything that I do, from new fish profiles, fish store visits coming down the road, public aquarium visits, all sorts of things coming up here in the future. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and until the next video, fish folk, stay fantastic.